Awesome. Everyone, good morning and welcome to the All Things Leadership YouTube channel. This is Dr. Horacio Maldonado. And today I'm super excited to have Dr. Melissa Gonzalez today as my guest today because it's interesting. I am looking forward to our conversation. And Melissa is a departmental chair and professor with Central Texas College. She's also a CT leader, a strategic innovator, which I love, a mentor and a lifelong learner. I share that with you, Melissa. Welcome to the channel this morning, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Academic leadership. I'll tell you, what struck me out about just talking to you, listening to you, was the role of a departmental chair, which I want to get to that, but it's just being a departmental chair. That is a goal of mine now that I received my doctorate last year. And I was like, I want to be one of those because I admire the mentorship, the hard truth, the lessons. Like, hey, this is what you gotta do. And me going through it, I really believe that role puts mentorship at like another level for me, from my perspective, and I just excited. So, but today I want to ask you a couple of questions that just to have discussions. What's your perspective on everything, and really just jump into it. So, I want to talk a little bit about balancing rigor and relevance, and I wrote some stuff down because I don't want to go somewhere else. So like higher education. Um, I think we're being challenged in the academic level to have more career-focused skills for students and for personnel, and to ensure that that these students are both critical thinkers and job ready for changing work force needs, because the workforce has been changing. So my question to you, and I'm going to open up, is how can higher education leaders balance that academic rigor and technical relevance to better prepare these students for the rapid shifting in today's workforce? What's your perspective on that, Melissa?
So I would say that rigor and relevance are partners, and we have to be measuring both of those. And we do that by first understanding what rigor is. Rigor is the quality of thinking. It is not more work.
Hmm.
It is more meaningful work that's tied to real problems. The other end of that is the relevance. Relevance, again, is how does it fit into this time and this space and perhaps even this industry? And so when it comes to CTE education, or any education for that matter, rigor and relevance are partners, and we're measuring both. So we're aligning outcomes to real work. We're mapping program learning outcomes to sites like ONET online,
Hmm.
the skills and the local employer needs. So we keep the theory
Hmm.
because it's needed. People need to understand what it is they're looking at, what it is they're getting into, how it came about, all the things, but we teach it through authentic problems. How does this matter in the place where you're going?
I like that. I That's a great question. I really like it. It's so let me say this. Do you believe, or do you, well, yeah, do you believe that if we are not prepared academically for the workforce, and we have all this rigor, we have this relevance. I like how you mentioned that we have to measure it. Does that affect the outcome at the end of the day in what I'm going to do? And the reason I say that, I spoke with this gentleman. He was a CT instructor from South Texas, and he said that they have a lot of challenges trying to align the workforce with I guess, on the academic side. And that's interesting to me because I hear it from both sides of the house, and having yourself on both sides of the house, is that a challenge? For me, I think it would be, but obviously I'm not as much of a subject matter expert in that area. But from your perspective, is that true, somewhat true, or what's your take on that?
I think there is definite truth there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that we, as the professionals, actually see it
Mm-hmm.
until we are faced with it. So let me explain. Many years ago, my department sent out a survey to employers of our graduates. And we asked simple questions like, how are they doing? Do they have the knowledge and skills and abilities that are needed in your industry, in your office? And we received one bit of feedback that stuck with me all these years. It was from a physician because in one of my programs we train medical office specialists, and that those are your front office people in
Mm-hmm.
a medical setting. And so he responded, you know what, this graduate is awesome. She has my office up and running. She knows all the things I need her to know. For the most part, she has great skills, qualities, wonderful person all around. And then he said, but if I had known that she could not write, I would not have hired her. And
Wow.
that was mind blowing because the second part of that was, and if I had not hired her, I would have missed out on a great employee. And so
Wow.
we got a couple things there, right? We
Yeah.
definitely did train her to do the work she was doing. She was excellent at it, had a wonderful personality, all the soft skills, even all of the technical hard skills that were needed for the job, but she
Wow.
wasn't a great writer. And so that put that physician back in a position where he
Mm-hmm.
was doing what he didn't want to do. He wanted to
Yeah.
treat patients and do all of that,
Exactly.
but he had to look very closely at her writing. The short answer is yes, it does affect.
Wow.
So the academic piece absolutely does affect the what's happening in the workforce, right? We can't let go of those things.
Yeah.
Just because a person is going to be a welder,
Mm-hmm.
just because a person is going to be an automotive technician or graphic designer or be in the building or construction trades in some way or another does not mean they cannot and should not be learning
Mm-hmm.
those other, what we tend to call liberal arts skills.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to know how to communicate well, both in writing and orally.
Yeah.
Everybody, especially in the trades, needs to
Mm-hmm.
be able to add and subtract.
Yeah.
Those are important skills, and we can't ignore them. And so, yes,
Yeah.
the work itself, whatever the industry, is great, but it's all needed. I hope that answered your
No,
question.
it's interesting you say that because a lot of the employers that I've talked to before, and I've been in positions where I speak to the employers, go, "Oh, it's a great person," but you know what? I'm not feeling it. And it's interesting you mentioned that because we assume, and I assume that a lot of the employers that I speak, they assume they already have all these soft skills, like you know how to read, write, communicate effectively. I was an adjunct business instructor with SCI in South Texas for a bit, and these kids were smart, but if you asked them, so let's think about this problem. What do you think? The world just completely closed, right? And I'm like, well, we can allow the world to close because when you're done with here, you're gonna go to a business office, you're gonna go to a hospital, you're gonna go to a clinic, you're gonna go to another employer. And if we cannot just critically think at a very basic level, that was like something brand new to them. And I'm like, so I wondered, I mean, now I'm like, okay, what happened from like eighth grade to like senior year, like, what happened here, buddy? And it's for me, I always want to dig deeper into the program. I want to dig deeper, kind of find out, where did it stem from? And I managed to, and I like to talk a lot. So I spoke with them like over and over and had those deep conversations. They're like, maybe I should kind of get my stuff together and kind of start doing that. So, no, and yeah, I appreciate it, man.
I'd
Yeah,
like to chime in on that if you don't
yeah,
mind.
definitely, man.
I love young people. Young people are amazing. They are brilliant. They are doing wonderful and great things. What I've seen, this is just my experience, is whereas our young people struggle a bit with soft skills,
Yeah.
right? Asking questions, um, taking up for themselves, uh, and all the things, saying good morning with a real
Yeah.
smile,
Exactly.
all those things. Our our older people, right? They are really great with that, but some are faced with the challenge of learning the hard stuff,
Yeah.
like how to work new programs,
Mhm.
technical programs, even if it's, a computer program, apps and different. And so there's always something. And I think no matter what, no matter where we are, we're going to see those kinds of needs.
Mhm.
But when we are aware that they exist, right? When they're right in front of us,
Mhm.
we can more easily adapt curriculum,
Mhm.
conversations around getting every student prepared,
Yeah.
regardless of where it is they're lacking. We're equipped and we're ready to
Mhm.
give students what they need for success.
Yeah. Definitely. And I like it. I mean, a lot of the clients that I have in mind, I'm like, we have to adapt. So like I'm 55, I'm trying to adapt with every single thing, this cross-generational, perspective and approach. We have to be like with AI programs, like you said, for computers. I try to get on board with everything because it's much needed. The students that I have, even I have some that I'm mentoring, they're so smart. They're brilliant minds. But they always tell me, but be honest with me, Dr. Molnar. Tell me the honest. And I said, you want me to be honest with you? I'll tell you. I'm a different approach when it comes down to growth development. I said, you can give me the dimensions of a nuclear weapon, but you can't tie your shoe. And the guy goes, yeah, that's true. So, but recognizing and accepting that, and they're willing to learn, not in a way where it's a bad thing, but let me mentor you about that because I tell, look, you need to be able to have the very basic hello, good morning, how you doing? Even though you're having like a bad day, put a smile on your face because that represents who you are. And if you're just walking around like, what it is, you're gonna attract a different type of energy, and you want to keep it positive. So it's not. I understand. I appreciate it. That's awesome. I really appreciate the the response to that, Melissa. So I'm going to jump into the next one, which is going to be the culture of innovation.
Okay.
Definitely, being a department chair for you, it's for me. When earlier I was telling you about, for me, it sparked a lot of curiosity, a lot of encouraging learning methods. So my question to you is, in what ways can the departmental chair and professors create a culture of innovation that inspires lifelong learning for both staff and for student?
Okay. Um, Culture, I believe it follows a structure, right? So we talk a lot about culture and wanting positive and high energy and all these things, but the truth is that the culture follows what's actually being demonstrated. And so the way we do that, the way we foster a culture of innovation is we make it easy, expected, and then we reward new
Mhm.
ideas.
I like that.
Right. And that has to happen even when failure may be possible. And failure is
Mhm.
always possible,
Yeah,
right? If
always
we've never
possible.
done a thing before, if we've never done it this way, or if we've never used it in this manner, well, it could fail. But
Hmm.
we build a culture of innovation when we make it safe to try,
Yeah,
right?
I like that. I know it follows the structure. I really like it. I think it's true. I think it's I speak about culture a lot within leadership with a lot of people, and it always amazes me how everybody's perspective of culture, same meaning, but they add their perspective to it, and it's such an interesting. And like how you said it, it follows, the structure. Now I wrote it down because I like to write stuff down, and for that, what is the most challenging part about being a departmental chair? What's some of the things that maybe you struggle with, or what are just some of the challenges? Because I know it cannot be as perfect as always. I've spoken with many departmental chairs, and there's always a challenge. What's your challenge, or what challenge do you perceive within that role?
Oh my goodness, there are so many.
Yeah.
And I'll try to find one to talk about. But first, let me tell you what a former professor told me when I was in graduate school. So we were actually in class, and she said it to the entire class. And she said, I'll tell you, the worst role to have is department chair.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it to save my life. And at the time, I'm just listening. Like, okay, so
Mm,
we've gone through the different positions, right? That
yeah.
somebody could be in different roles. And so she landed on department chair. Oh my goodness, don't do it. You will hang yourself. And so fast forward, I'm a department chair. And oh my goodness, it comes to mind what she said. And I
Yeah.
thought if I knew better, I would have said no. Yeah, but I had the reference
Yeah.
in the moment when my professor was talking, it was just lost on me. Oh, it's
Hmm.
not lost anymore. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
It
wow.
is the dirtiest, grungiest job in higher education. Let me tell
Wow.
you.
Okay.
And I love it. I love
Mhm.
it. But it does call for letting go of everything you thought you knew, right? Because it's ever changing from day to day. You have to know some of everything. You need to be a polyglot to be a
Yeah.
department chair. And if you go in and you're not, it's okay. Just prepare to learn.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. I had a faculty member say to me one time, I'm not a counselor. And these students, they want to come to me with, their problems. And I need them to get the work done. And I'm simply listening, right?
Yeah.
Because, and then I recognize one, but you expect me to be a counselor.
Exactly.
Right. That was unspoken, right?
Yeah.
That was not what he said. But in the moment, it wasn't lost on me that
Mm.
listen, friend, we are all these things.
Yeah.
Whatever the students need, whatever the faculty and staff need, whatever administrators need as a department chair, we're all those things. I am not talking about coming outside of oneself. I believe in living an authentic life. That's
Exactly.
the only way we make any progress anyway, right?
Yeah.
But we have to learn to bend and mold. We have to also learn, again, to let go of our own thoughts and ideas about what should be and the way it always was, to open up to new possibilities.
Hmm.
How can we get from where we are to where we want to be? How can we as a department get from where we are to produce what it is our executive officers want, right?
Exactly.
We have to have an open mind for
You
that. We
have
can't
to.
go in love with what's
Hmm.
going on in the moment. And so I think in general, the most difficult thing for any department chair would be really letting go, because most of us come from faculty anyway. So we have to let go of our subject matter, right?
Mm,
We have to trust that there are others who can do that and really get into the multifacets
mhm.
of of the role, because there's so many things,
Yeah.
so many things, but it is a great joy when you see things coming together.
Hmm. The end result.
Yes. And
Yes.
well, I'm saying yes, and I'm not going to change my mind about the yes.
Mhm.
I'm going to add to that and say the end of one beginning, but the beginning of another,
Yeah. Exactly.
perpetual. So they are perpetual ends. The
Yeah.
thing never stops.
No.
Never stops.
No, I wish it would, you know. I like how you said authenticity because it really matters. I learned so much from my chair, and she had four of the students at the moment, and I'm like, how is she balancing all four of us, you know? And she's in Minnesota, I'm in Texas, we're like all over the place, and me, I was the type of of student. I was like, I need to talk to you, like face to face. I can't do phone. I gotta talk to you, like. And she's like, you know one of my students that you really needed my attention, right? Like I was, and then I do my school visits and I do my research, and she's like, you definitely want, can I get a Zoom call with you? Okay, good. You know, let's just roll with it. But it also had showed me a lot of she really encouraged me to do the outside the box thinking and learning, you know, because she goes, you're gonna be in a classroom, you know, one day and you're gonna not so much as like I love how you said it, you're gonna forget what your subject matter and just be this figure it all out for the end of the student success at the end of the day. So yeah.
I'd like to add just a quick example.
Mm,
So, one of the departments I chair is called Industrial Technology. And in that department, there are several programs. We have automotive building trades, diesel, HVAC, welding, um, graphics and printing. So it's a very diverse
mm,
program. The everybody's doing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful work. I have an amazing, fantastic team, but one concern the team had when I came on was they wanted to ensure that I would not favor one program over the
yeah.
other. And when I asked why that was so important, although I could come up with, an answer in my own mind, I wanted to hear
Mm,
from them. It was because they were afraid they would not get the care and support needed if I did. Now that makes sense. Now
mm,
think about this. I'm at a conference and I meet a gentleman who is a welder, and he is struggling with whether or not he will become the department chair, whether or not he'll accept the position
mm,
that he had been offered. And he did ask for my advice. And what I told him mirrors, or it ties into what the faculty asked of me. And that was, you can definitely do the work if you are willing to let welding go.
oh, that's hard. I think that's hard. I think for any industry, like, yeah,
Absolutely.
wow.
It,
Yeah, I mean, my
it is
it's an
hard.
organizational leadership, and I'm like, I don't see myself doing something other than leadership, but you are correct. Man, you know what?
You gotta let some things
Go.
go, because if it's the only thing that drives you, then the people you lead, they don't get your very best, and they don't get to
Exactly.
show and become their very best,
I
because
like that.
now they're thinking they have to impress you or win you
Yeah.
over in order for you to root for them. And I do hope I do a decent job at letting my team know in both my departments that, hey, I'm not in it for me.
Hmm.
You tell me what's needed, sell it to me, and
Yeah.
I will do my best to sell it to our leadership. I'm in it for you.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
in it for you.
we're in it to win it.
Yes, yes, yes. And it just so happens that I am not a professional in any program in
Yeah.
either of my departments. And so that's a super win, right?
Yeah, that's a
Um,
definitely a super one there. No, I'm with you. I like that. That's definitely one of my long term and maybe like in the next year or so to be. I know that I just got my, and I'm not really sure what's the progression of the timeline that I need to spend to be a chair, but I want to do it just because I really like, which throws me into the next question that I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna change strategies for you right now because now you
okay.
got me thinking about other stuff and I love it. So, Melissa, tell me your perspective on meaningful mentorship. I know that I got 10 minutes left. What does meaningful mentorship mean to you within your setting? Especially within your setting. Does that something that really like is important to you? What does that mean to you, roughly?
Absolutely, positively. And so, meaningful mentorship doesn't happen by chance.
Hmm.
When it's meaningful, it's guided. When it's meaningful, the person or the persons with whom you're communicating or mentoring, they take something from it. They grow.
Yeah.
Their craft is enhanced.
Hmm.
Meaningful mentorship centers on and around the other.
Hmm.
You tell me where you want to go, and with all that I have, I will help guide you there.
Yes.
I think that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Another point is that even if I'm able to see potential beyond that which an employee says they want to reach, I don't have to push it. I simply have to be available to make what it is they desire meaningful, right? To make that
Exactly.
interaction there meaningful. Because in that interaction, in that meaningful interaction, they themselves will begin to see what was already there. You won't have to say a word about it.
Yeah. I think being genuine and being yourself that attracts, I did mentorship in the military. I did 24 years in the military and I did a lot of mentoring. And I brought those skills into the private sector when I retired. And I mean, to me, mentorship, I hold it to a different kind of standard. And I appreciate you saying, it has to be mutual but meaningful. Because you could talk to somebody and be like, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. But when it says, Dr. Gonzalez, I have this thing that I want to do, and they're passionate about it, and they're asking for that guidance, for that, that mentorship, it means it hits you differently from my perspective. And I don't know how it feels for you, but you know, uh, I talk to a lot of people when I've asked about the meaningful mentorship, and I am surprised. They're like, well, yeah, whatever they need, I'm just going to help them. I don't feel there's any kind of investment into that person. For me, mentorship is finding that answer that they already know. You're just navigating the cave system and to see where they're at.
Yeah.
I speak with executives about mentorship, and they're like, well, I don't know how to do this. I'm going, look, you have 400 employees. Okay, you know what's not working? And he goes, sure, I'm more happy. I said, get a mirror and go like this and look at yourself, right? And they're like, I have to be able to chip away that ego. Okay, put that aside. And I said, effective mentorship needs to be genuine. It has to be purposeful. It has to be meaningful because anybody can just talk to anybody. And, but yes, I agree with you. I love
I,
mentorship.
oh yeah. It now that is one of my favorite boxes. I like it. I
Mhm.
do. I really, really do. But I wanna just because equity is one of the words that we hear a whole lot
Mhm.
of nowadays. And I want to be clear when it comes to mentorship, when it comes to getting people where they want to be, equity can only be achieved when success is predictable,
Yes.
not when success is based on your background,
Yeah.
right?
I like it.
It is when success is predictable. So how do we make it predictable? What does that actually mean? Well, we disaggregate everything. We look at every part, every piece. We track
Mhm.
access, we track progress, and this is even for our faculty, right?
Yeah.
We track completions of different goals. PSLOs and all those things. We do all of that
Hmm.
and then we act on the gaps,
Yes.
right? So, how does a faculty member, how does a professor get better at teaching?
Hmm.
Well, we disaggregate all the things and we find those holes and say, okay, let's consider what we do here to affect this.
Yeah.
Let's consider what we do here to affect this. And we're not doing everything at once because then we don't know what's working or what's not
Hmm.
working. We take our time so that in the end, it's predictable. Our
Predictable.
success is predictable. But
Hmm.
also remove the friction.
Yeah.
So, structured schedules, hybrid options, open educational resources. These are all the things that you've heard of. Childcare partnerships, emergency micro grants, all
Mhm.
the things that help people to show up without undue pressure and stress.
Yeah.
That helps to predict whether or not they'll be successful, right? And
Yeah.
this is what
Definitely.
we do in our mentoring, um, advising and coaching and all the things. But it has to be a practice, not just. Now, I don't have to, no one has to come to me and say, I want you to mentor me.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah. They
Why?
don't.
Because I make mentorship practice.
Yeah.
That's just what I do.
Yeah, and it speaks volumes to the individual who you are, and your purpose and your passion and everything, and it speaks volumes. I love that. And I really appreciate that because, I've been writing a lot of stuff down when you're talking, and I love finding new ways or new approaches when it comes down to mentorship and being yourself and being authentic. And I really, really appreciate that. I only have a couple of minutes left with you, so I want to talk to you more. And there's a strong possibility I'm going to reach out to you again to do a part two of it, just to let you know. But I really appreciate your time today, Dr. Gonzalez. It has been a complete pleasure having you in our channel today. And I really, really appreciate your time, your wisdom, your knowledge, your intellect, your strategy, your purpose. I love it. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you very much for being part of our channel today, ma'am.
Thank you. I'll say just 20 seconds. Mentorship is not a favor. We're not doing anybody a favor. It's a core delivery system for equity. Thank you again for having me. I appreciate you so much, Dr. Maldonado.
I appreciate you, and I love the last nugget. I love it. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Melissa, and have a great rest of the week, or this Friday, this weekend, and we'll definitely stay in touch, okay?
Awesome. Happy Thanksgiving.
Likewise, thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.